with Clive passing away, I think we've had a lot of stuff in the newspapers, we've had a lot of different angles. We've looked at Clive most probably as a human being, Clive as an artist. What I'm going to attempt to do in this series of interviews is try and strip away the myth from the man, and let's see what happens. I've tracked down some old friends of Clive's, people that he knew, people he was at school with, people that he was at university with, sometimes just people that he was friends with, and try and, as I say, strip away the myth almost that has shrouded Clive and his art, the things that he's done, and the contribution he's made to the South African art scene. Some of what we've heard about Clive has almost been, he's been demonized, and in other ways he's been sanctified. I think I want to try and take an approach between this demonization and the sanctification, and try and come up with the truth about Clive. I think he's known by so many names. Some people knew him as Clive, some people just knew him as C. There was the time when Clive went through his traditional phase, when he called himself Sipho, and it's something we want to cover in these interviews, was when he went through a complete tribal Xhosa initiation. And as you know, Clive was circumcised, but actually got recircumcised, which I think was a very interesting thing. And then actually made an artwork out of his foreskin, which he hung in the National Gallery for a while, which at the time caused quite a furore. But I think we want to look at the various aspects of Clive. I think it's undeniable the contribution he made to the whole South African art world, the whole South African scene back in the 80s, in the height of the apartheid, coming through to the 90s, after 94 with democracy. And the thing was, I mean, where it changed what art, the function that art performed. Art was very much part of the political struggle in the 80s, and post 94 basically was freed and was allowed to basically follow its own course and be more honest to itself. And I think that Clive really went with that. He went with the liberation of art in South Africa, from liberation art to the liberation of art. I'd like to cover Clive's exile in Randburg. I think it was a very difficult time for him. I think it was a time of a lot of soul searching. We'd like to also cover in this series of interviews Clive's time when he embraced traditional African art, and he went down to, he spent time in the Sikisiki, Mount Frere, and his installation phase, where he was doing a lot of installation art. We all know his great exhibition that he held at the prison. It was a time that he was going through a lot of his fascination with incarceration. There was the instance where he was commissioned to do a brass statue, and well, we'll look into that a bit later. That was very, very interesting. And a lot of his graphic art, I think, has something to say about Clive the man. We'd like to touch on Clive's sexuality. Since he's died, there's a lot of speculation in terms of, was he a sex change? We know that Clive did basically used to dress up in women's clothes, which I think to confuse being a transvestite with being a sex change is crazy. I think that some people say that Clive was almost totally asexual. We'd also like to cover his time in the warehouse, when he had the warehouse in town. A lot of young artists were staying there. They were interacting, breaking new ground, doing new things. For a time, Clive wouldn't exhibit anything at the galleries. He basically was boycotting the galleries. A lot of it was to do with the amount of money that the galleries take from your art, but a lot of it was to do with a sort of almost a radicalization of the whole art thing. And well, I think, don't let me ramble on any longer. I think let's actually get down and interview some of the people that knew and loved Clive. Okay. Just get a shot of.
Let me just go out
Wim.
a bit.
You gotta go down.
It's really, really stiff.
Okay. Keep that locked. Keep it locked. Okay, zoom out. More. Okay. No, just keep it locked. There we go. Okay, wide one, and we're changing the legs. Okay, hands in lap. Bit wider. Okay. Yeah.
Swing your feet.
Okay. You know when people lie and they touch their ear?
Hey, just hang on.
Okay. Glasses in mouth. Don't move so much. Frame it better. Come wide. Bit wider. I'm going to put my glasses on. Bit wider. Wow. Yeah. Okay.